here in the shadows.
Hello everybody, welcome in. Who have we got so far? Mast, welcome in. Gengar, welcome in. Gengar with the watch streak, love it. That's it so far for chatters, but hi lurkers as well. So this stream is a really important one to me. I'd really appreciate it if you do click on my friend Dan's channel so you can go and lurk and support. We're trying to bump up that average viewership. I'll explain it more, the logistics of Twitch at some point during the stream. I'm sure we'll talk about Twitch at some point. But for now, let me introduce Dan. Dan, here is your moment. What would you like to say?
First, let me switch over. Well, let me turn my stuff on because I'm still on starting soon. Yes, hello everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Let me tap over to just chatting right away so you can hear my friend, Dan the Draconian, also introducing you to my chat. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's not the collab chatting. This is the collab chatting. But yes, hello. Hi, everybody. I forget what your question was. I'm sorry.
I said, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, right. Shit. I fucked that up. But yes, hello. I am Deuscain, variety type streamer on Twitch. I play a lot of RPGs, JRPGs, like fantasy and strategy games, like a lot of vintage and retro stuff. It's a good time.
Perfect.
Also, my name is Dan in real life, and I don't really hide that. So we're calling this the Dan and Dan chatting collab because it's funny.
Yeah, I saw it's actually in your about section of your channel, I think. But if you want me to call you Deuscain, I can. I do not mind.
Either's fine. We can both just call each other Dan for today. I think that would actually be fairly hilarious.
And let's confuse all of our viewers.
Agreed, Dan. That's a very good idea.
Well, Dan, let's start this off. I'll introduce myself for your side, Dan. I am Prince Dan, Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Aravin, a mythical world with draconians and things. So, here for a good time, maybe not a long time, but I'm sure gonna make you smile, laugh at some point. So, so we were just talking before the stream started, weren't we, Dan? About how neither of us have planned anything.
Nope. When we discussed this initially, one of us, and I'm not saying who, I will not throw either of us under the bus. I will let you know, whoever it was, you know their name was Dan.
Oh my god.
But they're just like, hey, we're two charming, handsome, intelligent fellows. Surely we can find something to chat about. And the other one went, sure, that sounds like a good idea. And then we showed up to stream, and we're just like, I have done no prep. And the other person's like, I have also done no prep.
And that's
Oh,
where we
lovely.
are.
Yay!
Oh dear. Oh gosh. Well, I do have a few ramblings, a few rantings I want to do. Let's start off with something light. Let's start off with like what we're looking forward to games wise of 2024. Now I've not actually looked at what's coming out this year.
I looked a little bit because I did like a New Year's Eve stream with my buddy Rad Maho, and that was a question I asked him. And looking it up, it's not as impressive a year as 2023, though that is an extremely high bar to put anywhere, because 23 was nuts. Like 23, we got like Dead Space remake, RE4 remake, we got Baldur's Gate 3, we got a FromSoft game, an Armored Core 6, we got a new Final Fantasy, we got a new Street Fighter, we got a new Zelda, for pity's sake. Like, it was a good year. So, like, yeah, after a while, I'm just like, let the devs rest. Let them rest. They need to recover their strength to do another 2023 in like 2 years or 3 years. Let them sleep. So most of the games that I'm excited to play in 23 are in 24, I should say, definitely came out before 2023. So like, yeah, like right now I'm playing Cassette Beasts, which is a game that came out last year. I played a little bit on stream, and then I basically went, mine. And I finished it off stream. And I'm like, oh, I wish I had played that on stream. And now I am. So it's that, and then another one called Theme Library. Save me.
When Steam needs you, it lets you down, doesn't it?
A little bit. Chained Echoes is the name. It was a game that somebody mentioned when I was playing Sea of Stars, and they're like, this is good, but it's no Chained Echoes. I'm like,
Chained
good, though.
Echoes? Hastily.
Yes. Yeah. Reading the description here from Steam, it says, take up your sword, channel your magic, or board your mech. Chained Echoes is a 16-bit RPG set in a fantasy world where dragons are as common as piloted mechanical suits.
Oh.
So they basically gave us Fantasy Ava? Maybe? I don't know. People seem to think highly of it. And I'm just like, I told that to like the description of my gym trainer. He's just like, let me know when you're playing that. I swear to God, I want to watch that. I'm like, yeah, I want to play it too.
Is it
I want to play
turn-based?
it right now. I think so.
I think it is,
Like
based on what I'm looking at. Very interesting.
Yeah, the visuals look great. It looks like turn-based combat. I don't know if it has like a tech system or anything like that, or like a dual tech or anything. Well, it has skills from what I'm looking at here. But
Let me see if
yeah,
I can get it up on stream for everyone.
It seems amazing.
That's roughly what I'm looking at, everybody.
I should probably share the page on Steam. Why did I not think of that?
I'm on their website now.
Yeah.
Fast-paced turn-based battles. Turn-based battles. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But looks like a good time. Pretty much the only things that are stopping me from jumping into that immediately is I started Final Fantasy VII Remake in December, and I want to finish that because I think it'll be good, like, strategy-wise for the streaming strats to be playing Final Fantasy VII R leading up to R2 releasing at the end of February. And then Cassette Beasts, I absolutely want to play on stream, so I'm going to play that until I beat it. So, yes.
Okay.
And so with me only streaming twice a week at the moment, those are pretty much the only two I can have. And then with... so I mentioned to you at before stream that I was potentially going to be expanding my days streaming because currently I am seeing a gym trainer. After January, I will not be seeing a gym trainer anymore. And I get 2 nights back in the week. And then I can stream more.
Okay.
So
Chained
Echoes might start in February.
February is looking like a good month for you, which is amazing.
Yes.
For me, I know my chat said World of Goo 2. It's not
World of
something
Goo.
I know, but I do have the trailer here. I will mute it in case of copyright. From what? Oh.
Where else? Oh, that's interesting. It's a physics puzzle game. Oh, that's fascinating. I think I saw something about this. Yeah.
Ooh. And it says here the same people who made the first game are making the second game, which I mean is good anyway.
Indie game too, so might actually be very good. At least it's not coming from like EA.
It's got fascinating art, although the goo kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies of like illness, I guess.
Maybe a little bit, but it seems
15 years since the first game.
oh, interesting.
Wow. Look at this. There's a lot going on here. There's chapters, bosses.
There are bosses in that game?
Yep.
Interesting.
This is a good suggestion, Mars. This is a... What a good too. Very nice. Patchy, 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 patchy. Clap, 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 clap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so... What about me? What about me? Good question. Let me go back.
Yeah.
Games releasing 2024.
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be something new either. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff in my library. I might actually do some smaller streams in February too, like once I finish off some of the bigger games I'm playing, and just go through some of the ones I have. Because like one of the ones I bought recently is Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, and I wanted to save that a little bit closer to tax season because it's fun to theme around that. But like, come on, with a name like that, like yes.
That's actually quite amazing.
So yeah, there's a lot of like really cool games out that I'm like, this might be a stream or two. Like it's not going to be big stuff, but kind of when I finished my games I was playing in like October and November, those were a lot of like fairly small ones because I did a big push in October for like Halloween games. Like I started late September through like mid to late October. And a lot of the games were like 4 or 5 streams. So by the time I was done with that, I'm like, nah, I want something I can really sink my teeth into. I want to really have something long that I can play.
Yeah.
So I jumped into a Final Fantasy because, yeah, that'll be a long game.
I don't even think you'll be finished by May, honestly.
Yeah, thank you for the follow, Nocturnus. Thank you.
Some of the games I'm looking forward to this year, let's go through. So I know we have the Suicide Kill the Justice League coming out, and I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, and whilst the gameplay that released early 2023 in that gameplay trailer we shall not ever mention again was questionable, to say the least, in terms of the frame rate and the style of gameplay, the most recent gameplay trailer that came out towards the end was quite better. Yeah, quite better.
Nice.
A lot better in my opinion, in terms of more fluidity in the combat, and the control you have over them is, I think, been improved. And the frame rate as well, of course, like the major things we all picked on. The fan base picked on, I should say.
That's good, because as long as it's not like another like Sonic movie where the first trailer comes out and everybody's just like, what have you done to my son? And they have to remake the entire thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow, Casper Locks VTuber. Thank you.
Casper! Love you, Casper. Thank you for going and following and lurking. Please lurk. Thank you. Another game for next year, Persona 3 Reload. The Persona 3 remake that will be coming out towards, I think
Thank you for the follow.
Sorry, go ahead. If you need to do thank yous, do thank yous.
No, that's fine. We talked about not interrupting each other. I do want to thank people, but I don't want to talk over you. But yeah, P3, nice. That is actually interesting. I might be interested in that. I still have like P5 on my Steam wish list, but it's very near the top. It's something I'm considering, but also I know that's going to be even bigger than like Final Fantasy. So
Yeah, and P5 Royale is on my to play list for this year. Like I said last year, oh, it's something I really want to do, and then I never got around to doing it. But this year is definitely the year of solo playthroughs, I think, for me, for everyone.
nice.
You remember playing the first one when you were much younger? Oh. Yeah, I mean, 15 years ago, I too were much younger. I mean, I'm 500 something years old, but, you know.
Yeah, true.
Still younger.
Yep. What's funny is when I started like reading up a bit more about those Persona games, I didn't realize at first they were part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe, which I remember playing one of those ages ago, and like I'm just like, wait, this is Shin Megami Tensei Persona?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I never heard of the Persona franchise until Persona 5 appeared at that E3, and I went, that looks super interesting. I love it.
I think that was the first one I really heard about too.
Yeah, and I never knew the Shin Megami Tensei universe existed, like the games existed, until finishing Persona 5. Like, I played the whole of Persona 5, and then I still didn't know Shin Megami Tensei was a thing until they revealed the number 6. Is it Shin Megami Tensei 6? I think they revealed.
Not sure. I played part of one of the Megami Tenseis when I was younger, but that was like PS2, PS1 era, so it was a little crunchy. Didn't capture my attention then, but they've had like 15, 20 years to like really clean it up. So
Shin Megami Tensei 5 was revealed at the 2021 game show. So yeah, I'd finished Persona 5 by then, of course, but never knew Shin Megami was a thing. But then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's mainly about the monsters, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's like the same with the Dragon Quest Monsters game that came out recently. Like, the monsters are sure iconic to the series, but it's story that catches my heart, not the world, in essence.
Fair enough. Here's a question then about P5. Are you going to be playing the Tactics game that also released in 2023 for Persona 5?
So, Persona 5...
Tactica, I think is what it was called?
Yeah, it's Tactica. So... yes, I will be, but I want to do Persona 5 Royale, Persona 5 Strikers, and then Persona 5 Tactica in that order, and because it's the order that they released in, and I don't know if the stories overlap. I mean, they say Tactica is meant to be like a brand new, all new story, return of fan favorite characters, brand new allies and foes, but I'm like, it's Persona 5. Come on, at the end of the day, it's gonna be the people we love are gonna be coming back. If I get Makoto again, I'm happy. That's all I need. As long as I've got a Makoto on my team in any of the Persona 5 games.
She was the class president, right?
Yeah. Punch, motorbike. Love her. So yeah, she'll definitely be in my main party when I do the 5 Royale playthrough.
Yeah, I know very little about those characters. I mostly know them from fan art. But yeah, I don't know if I want to do like P5 blind or if I want to like look up a few things first and be like, okay, who are the romanceable options and who do I want to really go for, like in that regard?
You can ask me now if you like and write it down. then you don't have to look anything up.
That would require admitting publicly on stream that I might want a gun for the teacher. Because I've definitely seen some fan art that makes it sound like you could. And yes.
You can. I will confirm that now. So, good luck with that, though.
Oh no! Oh no! It's a doomed run. I like it even more.
No. It's more of a case that there are certain points in the game that require your personal character's skills to be of a certain level before that next stage unlocks. And for that particular character, she becomes locked quite early on, if I remember correctly. But Persona 5 Royale is gonna be different. It's gonna be different. So, sorry, I could be wrong. I could be. I might go for
the redhead too, the gymnast. Or I might go for Makoto. She looks cool too.
The gymnast.
Yeah, what was her name?
Haru.
Yes.
Oh, Haru's adorable.
Yeah, she seems sweet. Because I've seen like little bits and pieces of people streaming it, and like, she seems nice.
I love Haru.
Yeah.
And another thing I'm going to be playing this year, I just want to quickly take the time to mention, will be the first Danganronpa game.
Ooh.
Is that a game series you have heard much about?
I've heard about it, and I've heard that it's kind of unhinged. Like it's basically an unhinged Phoenix Wright. Is my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say if Phoenix Wright had an 18+ rating, that would be Danganronpa.
Yeah. Rated R Phoenix Wright game. Love it.
Yeah.
And I like those visual novel style games where because one of the first channels I really started watching on Twitch, aside from Critical Role, which is probably the one that got me the most time on Twitch when I first started showing up. But one of them was a group of people that I knew more from stuff that they made in the abridging community. But when I watched their Let's Plays, one of their groups was doing a Phoenix Wright run through, and it was great. Having actual people that do voice acting work do the voice acting overlay for those games during trials, especially when they start ad-libbing, is amazing. It's fantastic. They add so much extra personality to some of those characters, and it's a blast to watch. Also, thank you, Blue Plays VT.
I'll be doing voices for all of the characters as well. Really trying to showcase my terrible. Thanks for the applause, Miles. Sorry, there was just an applause was played. Thank you. I'll be showing off my terrible voice acting skills. No, Evie, we cannot say that, or couldn't even compare Danganronpa to Among Us. We cannot do that. I'm sorry.
They said it in my stream as well.
No, I was reading your stream.
Ah. Yes, I can. I was a fan.
I would say there's a lot more at stake in the Danganronpa games than in just a simple hide and seek killing kind of thing. Hi Blue, welcome in.
I mean, I did know that there was violence afoot and there was murder and
yeah.
So yeah, I think that might be more where they're going from. But yeah.
Yeah, there's murder, betrayal, that kind of thing, yeah. There's elements in the two games, but gameplay style-wise and world-wise, you can't compare them, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very different gameplays and worlds, I'm sure, yeah. Speaking of voice acting, though, I did a little bit of dabbling with that myself for a couple of games I played?
Yes. There were a couple of streams you did where I was able to hear your voice acting, and if you didn't know, everyone, Deus does some voice acting for the JRPGs, isn't it?
It varies a little bit depending on what it is. The big ones that I was referring to, This year I was doing like some visual novels, specifically Coffee Talk 2, and I did some VA work for those characters there and tried to like breathe a little bit of extra life into them because it's all just text on the screen. Otherwise, it's kind of boring unless I'm actually like trying to change my voice or trying to sound all gruff and westerny, even though I'm just like a werewolf nurse. Which there is a werewolf nurse in that. I'm not even making that up.
Wait.
But also when I was playing the Dark Side Detective, which is a point and click like a mystery game. One of the characters is like a police officer who, first game, when you meet him, you pull up to the house in a police car. You walk up to him and he goes, "Oh, thank God it's you. I almost shot you." And you're just like,
What?
"I'm your partner." And he's like, "Yeah."
Wow.
"And I'm in a police car." "Yeah." "And you called me here." And he's like, "Yeah." So I gave him the derpiest voice I could imagine the whole 2 game. And it was great.
Oh my god.
I think I still have a couple of those as like clips and stuff up on my YouTube. Because, yeah, I had some fun with, his name was Dooley, by the way.
Wait, you have a YouTube? You have a YouTube?
I do. Yes.
Let me grab that for everyone. Is it the same name?
There is a YouTube under that name. That is my personal one. I kind of converted. Personal one is Deuscain Clips and VODs is what it goes by. I will share that to you in Discord. So
You're an author?
Yes. That's actually why I share the name Daniel with people, because I still sell my books, and it has my legal name on them, like first and last. And I'm like, it was attached to Deuscain beforehand. I don't really want to just stop selling the books. I'm very proud of them. But that kind of means I can't be an unhinged degenerate in the VTubing community because it's going to be very easy to find me.
That's insane. I didn't know you were like an actual published author. Oh my god.
Self-published, but yes, mostly poetry, though I did do one book of short stories, flash fiction, and essays. But yeah, 9 books from I think I started in 2010 and went to 2016 for writing. December to December.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
it's actually in my link section. So,
what did you write about? Tell me about this.
poetry, mostly.
Okay.
Like it was 7 years of mostly poetry, with 1 year being like, I should probably like write longer things.
Oh my god.
And I did like short stories and essays, and yeah, when I published them, the first 2, I like had some help doing the covers, and then the ones after that, I basically just used like Photoshop or some kind of program to just make my own covers. So like my 2011 book was just an illustration I did. The 2012 was a composite image of like a picture of like the sky and clouds, and then like I took an old picture frame that I had that was cracked in one corner.
Look, everyone, these are Dan's books. Like,
oh no,
actual on Amazon you can buy books. That's crazy. I love that. Also,
what's really funny to me is occasionally I have to jump in there and basically be like, oh, why did somebody put their fucking Python programming language book on my page? Somebody attributed this to me. No, be gone with you.
Oh.
But yeah, the ones that you're showing right now, 2016, 2015, and 2014, I did all those covers. I actually did the graphics design for those.
Wow.
Actually, in terms of weird things with me, I even have a merch shop that I don't technically advertise it very much, where you can get some of those as like things on a t-shirt. They're terrible. I made them like 5 years ago, and I had no idea what I was doing. I own a shirt that has that stuff. It's blurry as fuck text because I did a bad job of it.
You have a website.
I mean, that's my like links cardo, but yes, my writing website with all of my stuff on it, like 1,500 pieces of work with like an archive section on the side. Yes,
and I've
been around for a while.
Wow, a store. Oh my god. Guys,
This is how you can tell that we were prepared, because Dan is finding out all of this stuff for the first time.
I love this though. I would love to just invite someone once a week or once a month, get to know them and do this kind of crap. Like, learning that you're a writer it's amazing, and that you do this still now. Although I see the last one was 2016. Where's 2017?
Yeah, I kind of... Well, 2016 was when I stopped writing, and 2017 is when I caught up on all the publishing.
Can I
And
get
at the end of 17, I was just like, listen, everyone.
Why is
I'm
it
tired.
unavailable for paperback, Dan?
Beats me. It should be available.
I can't. I can only buy it Kindle version, not paperback.
It's published through Amazon.
Yeah.
I know I have physical copies at home. They did make them.
That's fine. Other new paperback. No featured offers available. Unavailable. That's a shame. Otherwise, I'd have bought it and put it next to me and been like, I've got.
Honestly, the one, it is admittedly the more expensive one. The $15 book is probably the best one, because that was my first year of work, but I basically did one poem a day, or tried to at least, for a year, and every month I would change up styles, so it splits up nicely into like chapters.
The £15 book. They're all only Kindle edition.
Maybe it's a thing I fucked up with, like the UK edition or something.
Oh.
Which one are you looking at now? You were looking at the red book, Labors. Is it?
I love this.
I can get Labors as a paperback in the US. Maybe it's a thing for the UK. Maybe I fucked up something on the back end. I will make a note and fix that so that you can buy books. Because I think they did something where they like updated prices, and maybe like I'm not charging enough or something. Because I might not be charging above a threshold or something. I don't know.
I'm really glad my model is where it is, because otherwise I'd been showing everyone my postcode. Let's close that. Goodbye,
Please
Amazon.
Don't dox yourself.
Oh my
Please
god, that
don't.
was so fucking close. Oh my god. I need a minute. I need drink some water, everybody. Hydrate. Oh my god.
Hydrate, everybody. Hydrate.
Next topic, I think. Amazing. I love that you do this. I will buy one of these. Which one do you recommend? What are you most proud of, I should say?
So the first one, Wise Man of Two Faces, I think is probably the best one overall, because, like I said, that splits up into chapters. So you get a bunch of different styles. I did haikus, limericks. There's a month of sonnets. There's still even work from that year that I think is some of the best stuff I ever wrote. Would you like to hear one, actually?
I can buy it in paperback. One left in stock.
Must be a printing thing that they're doing.
Give me a second. I'm just gonna quickly buy this.
Before you do that on stream, you should probably turn that off in case. Yeah, there you go.
yeah. I got it. Let me just quickly buy this so I can have this. Okay, while I'm doing this though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, shipping is £18.
Must be shipping from the US or something. I'm
It
sorry.
is. It is. It's worth it.
See you later, Evie. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh yeah. Bye, Evie. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. But would you like to hear one from the book that you were attempting to buy?
Yes, please do.
So this was from, I think this was May, when I basically said, fuck it, and I'm going to write what I want. June, actually. But basically it was a freestyle month. So it wasn't locked down to anything specific. But this particular one I called Sensational. I do not know you. For when I see you, it is by the merest flicker of candlelight, dancing along the edges of your skin, ignorant of the depths of your curves. When I hear you, it is only the quietest whisper that hides between the sheets of a midnight tryst, wishing for the timbre of a boisterous afternoon guffaw. When I touch you, It is reminiscent of a polite museum visitor who wistfully desires to more fully experience the magnificent grain and texture of every frozen moment. When I breathe you in, it is a fragrance that teases me, like rich spices wafting through the air, promising a meal that always leaves me hungry for more. When I kiss you, it is a sweet and salty hors d'oeuvre, lacking the depth of palate of the ocean that I can feel in your arms as they try to drag me under. I do not know you, not the feeblest shadow of your radiance, but I look forward to learning with earnest, attentive enthusiasm.
Oh.
So not only does it sound really good, I like what I did with writing that one, where each of the 5 verses is a different one of the senses. It's sight, sound, touch, scent, and taste.
That's really, really good. My brain has checked out after you were reading that. Oh.
Yeah, I wrote that because somebody in my local area is just like, I like spicy ones. I'm like, sure, fuck it. I'll write a spicy one for you. Let's go. And that's what I wrote.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it, everyone. An accomplished writer. So
Yes.
that's another reason to check out Deus. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said there were a couple of things on the interwebs that we could address.
Yes.
And give our
Discussions.
opinions on, discuss about, rant about in some cases, such as myself.
Very true. Very true.
What's at the top of your list?
Well, one I saw recently was there was somebody that I saw get retweeted that basically put their mods on blast. And they were saying that, like, their last stream, like, either very few mods or maybe not even any mods showed up to mod for them. And they were really upset and they were really disappointed by it. And essentially the post that made it to me was somebody quote retweeting that saying, like, hey, your mods are working for you for free. They don't know you anything. Get off your high horse. And so that's enough of, like, okay, that's a little bit of drama. Who's this original person? Let me look into them a little bit. Let me look into this situation, see a little bit more of what's going on. So a little bit of a side trip here, talking about, like, how I moderate in social media, because it's kind of always interesting, like, how we each do stuff like that. Obviously, if somebody does anything incredibly bad, they're just gone. Like, if somebody starts talking about how they think Mein Kampf is the greatest book ever written, they're just gone. You don't get a second choice there. You don't get a second chance. You're just gone.
Agreed.
So the obvious stuff is an easy block and ban. But every now and again, somebody does what I think the community would probably describe as failing a vibe check. And I'm like, this isn't bad enough to ban you or to block you.
What about mute?
But you keep doing that. So mute is another way of, like, just basically making somebody go away. So what I did was I created a private list on Twitter, and I do this for all my accounts, where if somebody either does a hard fail on a vibe check or they keep doing, like, weird, like there's, like, a guy I follow that's an artist that, like, he described the Super Mario Brothers movie as too cynical for him, and I'm like, really, my dude? Really? The Mario Brothers movie is cynical?
I have not seen it. I cannot comment. So
it's not. It's a kids movie. It's like a fun video game kids movie. Cynical is not the word I would use to describe that.
Okay. So what happened?
So what I do is I add the people to this list, and that way, if they keep behaving like that, if they keep acting sussy, and I go to add them to the list and they're already there, then I know something's up. Even if I don't remember it. It's basically a way of, like, tracking, like, who's being a little naughty. So I started investigating this person's account to see, like, oh, hey, do they need to go on the naughty list? And what I found from the person that was putting their mods on blast, it took me a while to get back even, like, through, like, a week and a half worth of content that they had posted. They were a very prolific tweeter. And they had a couple of posts that they had done, because they had the mod one, and it amounted to essentially like, because I looked into that more thoroughly, and they apparently had like 12 people modding for them.
12?
People weren't showing up for their streams, and looking up their following on Twitch, it was like 2,000 followers. Like, big, but like not huge. Like, I would expect like a modding team of 12 if you had like 20,000 or 30,000 or something like that. Like something really big. But they had like 12 mods for not a huge following, which was odd to me. And then somebody also pointed out, like, hey, putting your mods on blast like this, if I was one of them, this would be really demoralizing, and like I would feel uncomfortable modding for you anymore. I'm like, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
Yeah.
So when I was looking back through that, I was kind of trying to like parse, like, who is this person? What's their branding? What's their style of stuff? And I found one post where they were basically upset because they thought people were using them as like a stepping stone in the VTuber community and the content creation community of like, oh, they're trying to use me to get famous, trying to use me to get to this. If I invite you to a collab, it's because I want to be friends with you. I don't want you to be this to all be business. But like, they were also getting on their mods back over like not being there, which if your mods are just your friends, why would they show up to every stream, especially if they were busy?
Yeah.
So that's a weird like conflict of vibes that stood out to me. And then I kept digging, and like back like on the 4th of January, I think I saw something where they did a long like 3 or 4 tweet thread talking about how somebody had gotten close to them and like had become friends with them, but then started leaning on their friends and being like, hey, you should hang out and collab with me because I'm friends with Deus, and you should be friends with me too. And they basically put them on blast on social media. And then they also said something about like, also it's really disgusting if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're flirting with somebody in my community, you're cheating, don't do that. And then they're like, but I'm not going to tell anybody who did this. I'm not going to say anything at all. Don't DM me asking for that. I'm like,
oh my.
Okay, that's enough failed vibe checks. That's enough red flags.
That's clout chasing as well, isn't it?
Now you're gone. Like you're saying things in public that you don't need to. Like, I understand if you're upset at your mods, you can have that conversation in Discord. You can have that conversation in private.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to go professional, you probably should, and you probably should be paying your mods. And if your mods don't show up when they're being paid to show up, fire them or don't pay them. Like, same as a work day. Like, if you skip your day at work, you're not gonna get paid for it. Why would you? Like,
nope.
mods don't exactly get holiday pay or time off that way. Like, you get paid when you show up. So they had this weird conflict of vibes, and they kind of kept being dramatic on social media, which is a thing I don't really like.
Drama.
Yeah, they got muted. I didn't think they deserved a block because they weren't too toxic, but I think it's a matter of time probably with that account.
So what I would do, in the first instance where I see something I'm like, I don't really want to see that again, I hit those 3 buttons and then hit like not interested in this post, and then see less often.
So you're using like the following, like the For You timeline?
Yeah. I kind of really spend a lot of my time on the For You rather than the following, which is probably going to be one of my downfalls at some point, and I'll miss something big. But I hit the, not see as much or as often, and that usually gets rid of that person for a nice week or so. And then they come back around again, and I'm like, okay, this is a better post, I can deal with this. But I think that list idea is a really smart way of you keeping track of who's, as you said, naughty.
Yeah. Just for the love of God, make the list private.
Could you imagine if it
Because you don't want that to be a public list, especially if you like mark it honestly. Because I think mine is just called like strikes, and like the description is just like, you've been bad but not bad enough to ban, and like I don't want anybody to see who's on that list. And occasionally I'll go back through and be like, okay, who's on here? I should probably empty this out of people that have not acted up for a while.
Thank you for the look, Angel. Yeah. That's another thing though. If I did have a list like that, I'd have to check it every so often, and that's another thing I have to do. And there's already so much I'm doing. Social media is my like blessing and curse in disguise, I should describe it, because I can go there to run away, but I also can get stuck in there, you know. Hey Pops, welcome in. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's kind of why I got away from like the algorithmically driven content. I am heavily into chronological timeline and defining my timeline. So like timeline, like the following tab is what I look at on my phone, and that's why like if I don't vibe with somebody, I will unfollow them. Not because I don't like them, not because I hate them, but sometimes it's just like I don't want to see this all the time. Like I had to live through the fallout from the 2016 U.S. election with Trump, and watching all of the left-leaning people I followed lose their freaking minds and just hate watch that man for 4 years. I can't do that again. It's exhausting.
No politics, Deus. It's in your rules.
All I said was I couldn't stand following people who talked about politics. Which is why my rule's in place.
Yes.
I didn't give an opinion on a politician. Just I was tired of people who hated him.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
You got me there.
But yeah, no, I love putting like people into the lists online, because like I have one for like the streamers I interact with on a regular basis. I have one for artists I follow. I just recently made one
Pops?
that's like but is like I think I called it like VTuber Trends, and it's all like the big VTubers that like I don't really want to follow them. I don't want to see all their posts because they're gonna tweet a lot. But I should probably have a list and just see like what pops
just
there when I notice something, so I can see like if a trend is going on or something.
Yeah.
And that one is also a private list. All of my lists that I use for like watching and sequencing people out are all private. Like very few of my lists are public, which is probably a shame.
Track of what we were originally discussing, which was mods.
Yes.
I got into lists. Sorry, I'm gonna bring you back a bit.
Sorry, social media moderation is a thing I am passionate about.
So mods on Twitch. Okay, I gotta say this. So at the moment, 2 of my mods are very dear friends who then, you know, I offered, hey, would you like to do this to help me out? And they accepted. The other one applied, like officially, and is, you know, and one of my artists as well as a mod. So it's very much a case of how they became a mod. So you said this person has 12 mods. I suspect, if not all of them, you know, all but maybe one are friends, and they decided as friends they weren't going to show up or something, and that's how the drama started. But like, if people can't make it to stream, don't freaking blast them on social media. Talk to them. This is the age of communication, and if you can't freaking communicate...
Oh god, I wish. Sorry.
No, it's alright. And if you can't communicate, when we have so much modern communication available to you now, there's something intrinsically wrong in that...
Equation, yes.
Yeah. You need to be able to communicate. Hi Angel, hi Pops. You just woke up. Cheeky.
Hello. But yeah, no, I don't quite know what their moderation team would be like. I do know somebody pointed out that like they tended to do long streams, like 4 to 8 hour streams. Like every stream was 4 to 8 hours.
No,
so like, I mean, it's fine for some stuff, but it's a bit much for everyone, especially if you're having unpaid mods. Yeah. Like, personally, I'm not running any mods yet. I'm a bit too small of a channel. I don't really need mods, and any game that I'm playing, most of them I can pause and just go over and moderate it myself. And the few that I couldn't, like if I was playing like Armored Core or Bloodborne or Elden Ring or something like that, screw it. I'll take the hit. I'll go over it, do the moderation myself, and I'll just go do a corpse run or something. No big deal. But it seemed unusual that they had so many, and it's one of those like, why do you have more mods than you have days in a week? Like, you could have 2 mods a stream for 6 days a week and not even duplicate any mods. Like, there was something about it that just seemed odd, which is why I think they were trying to kind of run their mods as like, they're just friends. They're my friends who help me out. In which case, like, they're not beholden to you. They're not required to show up to your streams.
Agreed.
Like, yeah, like that. If you want to run it as like friends doing friend stuff, then they're not required to show up. Or even if they are, like, maybe they'll help and mod that night. Maybe they just need a down night where they can't mod and they're just tired and exhausted. It could be either of those things. And I've honestly considered offering mod services to someone. Oh, I saw you just drop your
you're fine.
Your PNG.
It's fine.
Um,
I had to step off screen for a second. I'm back now.
But I thought about offering my services to a few people as a mod, basically not because I knew what I was doing, but more of just like, I am a grown adult. I just turned 40 a week ago. I am going to be reliable. Let me do this. In part because I just kind of want to learn the back end of Twitch a little bit better.
Yeah.
But even then, like, one of the big people I've thought about offering those to has had a couple streams. I'm like, I don't really want to hang around and watch this tonight. I just kind of want to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad about offering to mod for somebody and then just immediately being like, but not this stream. Maybe when you play a different game I like more. Like, maybe not.
So,
maybe not.
Let me talk about my own mod team at the moment. So, I've got Sophie, Ray, and Bree. And it's very much a case of the Discord is very much Sophie's area, not streams. So in terms of streams, Sophie will come by if it's something that interests her, and I completely respect that. I'd rather you be your own person than come in and feel like you're forced to watch me, you know.
Yes, very much.
Especially in the mod team where, you know, I treat you with as much or as the best respect that I can, because you are helping me in the highest degree. So, and then Ray, on the other hand, Ray will generally lurk. I think Ray's in here lurking right now. But but for a stream like this, Ray will lurk, but we'll be doing something else at at the same time, is what I'm trying to say.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm happy for that as well, because this is see, if it's a just chatting stream, then I can monitor it myself, that kind of thing. But if it's more than a conversation, if we were like playing a game together, then then I know and I trust 100% know and trust Ray would be more aware of what's going on. But it's I don't want mods to feel like they have to be here. They have to do certain things. They must do what I say. Like, no, this is a community in which we talk. So
yeah, like the only instance where I think something like that would be okay would be like if I'm paying you. If you're an employee rather than like somebody who's doing it as like a volunteer, or like even my instance with me offering to mod for other people or thinking about it, like, I wouldn't ask for money because what I want would be experience in the Twitch backend as a moderator to learn to do that better. So like that's kind of how I would want to be paid in a way. Like it's probably closer to like an internship rather than anything else. Yeah. But like I wouldn't really take any shit from somebody. And then if somebody was just like, oh, my mods all suck, I'm like, I'm sorry, I had a birthday party to go to. That's why I wasn't there. I said something because I probably would. Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, it's. I got the impression it was something that was starting to happen a bit more frequently with that streamer, and it could be burnout on the mod team. It could be the streamer was expecting too much from them. It's hard to say. Just with what I was seeing from that particular streamer, I got a bad vibe. They failed that vibe check, and they failed it a couple of times in quick succession when I was just researching them. and that's why I'm not following them, and that's why they're muted, because I don't want to really ever want to see their stuff again.
Yeah.
Like, they can scream into the void at me all they want. I'm not going to see it, but
I would be the same way. Like, there are those out there who are in the VTuber community who have had drama surrounding them, and I'm very
just
much
a few in the last couple months. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just that type of person who, if I don't want to engage with you, at all, I will just block. I do it to protect myself, my community, and my own well-being as well. Specifically my well-being, like my mental well-being, because because if we're not okay, we can't be there when we need to be, you know, like making you guys laugh and cry sometimes, or whatever the hell we make you feel. So yeah, if there's definitely someone who gives me those fails that vibe check, as you said, then yeah, it's generally just a block for me.
Yeah, like the list is really there for when it's not severe enough to fail, like to just get auto muted or blocked, because I will do that fairly often. Because I have a couple Twitter accounts. The one that is not the streamer account, that one is a lot more block happy. The streamer account, I'm a little bit more political, especially with other streamers, where like if I don't like them, I'll probably mute instead of block. But if I really don't like you, you're getting blocked. And I have a few fairly large streamers blocked that I'm just like, I don't care. I don't like you. I don't want you to ever see my stuff. I don't ever want to see your stuff. We're done before we start. And if you have a problem with that, all that means is I was right.
Oh.
So yeah, I've been around too many people that liked their drama, and it can be fun to like dip into and poke my nose in when I'm in the mood, but not all the time. And the drama people are always on.
Now, I'm gonna segue from drama. Speaking of drama, I made a post that you probably saw about VTubers and support chains, air quotes, and how I feel that there are a lot of big streamers. Now, my definition of a big streamer is someone who's got more than 1,000 people watching, because I've always described it this way. There are 20 to 40 people is a classroom. More than that, you're looking at a cinema hall. If you're then over 100, you're then looking at like an auditorium. Or the theatre, because then that's, you know, I'd say my fan base at the moment, 300 or so, is the size of a theatre. You know, a small theatre for the UK standards. But that's still a small theatre, and that is large in essence to me. But if you've got 1,000 followers or 900 people, that's a stadium. That's an entire stadium of people. By UK standards, I should say, not maybe America.
No. I mean, American, it can vary. Like if you're going to like a music concert, that could easily fit like 1,000 or more in there. If you're going like sports stadium, oh, that gets real big.
Yeah. Sports is big in America.
Yeah. See, that's interesting, because I also have like a way of splitting people up into like categories of VTubers, like small and whatnot. But I use a different metric.
Okay. What do you use?
I do it more from like viewers, not from followers. The followers can be significant, but like the way social media tends to work is like, regardless of how big your following is, you're probably only going to get 1 to 3% engagement. So like that 1,000 followers might equate to like 30 people in a stream, and
that's a lot to me. Sorry to jump in.
It is a lot, but it's something like you could moderate yourself still. But like I look at it as like there are people like me who are probably what I would call hobbyists. Like we're doing it to grow, we're doing it to start off, we're doing it for the love of what we do. We're not really making a lot of money. Maybe we're making a little bit. but it's pretty quiet and chill for us. And then you have the next group, which is semi-professionals. They're starting to get some money. They're starting to get enough where like they can earn money from streaming to buy other streaming stuff. Like, might not be a lot, might take a while, but they could do it. And like they're the people whose thrones might get regular purchases, or like they might have regular subscribers or things like that. And you know, towards the top end of that, you have people that are starting to question, do I leave my regular job to do streaming full time or part time? And then above that, you have like the professional class, which is anybody from like somebody that maybe is making 50 grand a year doing streaming, which is a lot of money especially from this, to people like the big indie VTubers who are probably making 6 digits or more. Like, I still put them in the professional category. And then way above that is like the corpos, who the lowest corpo is going to start streaming to like tens of thousands of people. Like,
yeah.
So it's more of like what your economic impact is, and whether or not you can do it for a living. Hobbyists, definitely not. Semi-professionals, it's offsetting their income. It's giving them a little boost. And on the top end of that, it's starting to make them question, like, can I really do this for a living? And then the professionals, that is what they do for a living. That just, it fully is.
See, that's interesting. See, I think that's a very financial viewpoint of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, because it's like how much this is a business to somebody, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I the thing is, I'm very much nonchalant. I do not really care about the money side of this, of what we do. It's entirely the entertainment factor, the whole, you know, bringing joy to someone's day. That's why I do this. And I've said this since I started in May last year, consistently. And it still is now. And even when I make money, you know, that money doesn't go to me. It goes directly into the channel again. You know, commissions, art, equipment, everything like that. But the thing is, like, my point of view is very much whether they can the amount of people that are following you fit in a classroom, I guess, is the way I base everything off of, is the classroom matrix. I'm not on the money making matrix, but that's because, I guess, to me, because I don't view money as the most important factor of this. But not to say you do as well. God.
No, fair enough. It's just 1,000 followers is actually a pretty small number on Twitch when you think of like the really big streamers with hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, what would that equate to at like that size? Because you put that point for a big streamer, what feels fairly low to me, because 1,000 followers is a lot, but at the same time, like 1,000 viewers to me is a lot. Like, that is somebody that is comfortably in the professional range for me. 1,000 followers, I would still say people in that point would still be potentially just in like the hobbyist or semi-professional range, because you're, like I said, you're offsetting your income, and the money you're getting from streaming is something you're putting back into streaming. So you're starting to get self-sufficient, but so you definitely wouldn't, you know, no offense, you wouldn't be at what I would consider the professional level. But you're talking at like you're talking about like a couple hundred, which by your what was because you said it was classroom for like a couple dozen, and then what was the next?
It's around 30 for a classroom, and then it's about 100 for a cinema. So that's you know, with the screens and everything, in those rooms. Do you call them cinema in America?
Movie theater is probably the word we use, but sometimes they do use cinema. Yeah,
so theaters for us is like the 300 range, or maybe 300 to 500, I should say. And then above that, yeah, mine's very much like how many people following you can equate to a room, or like for your audience, because you know, this rarely happens, but let's say every single one of the people following you comes into stream at the same time, says hi. That's for you, that's 180 messages at once for you.
Yeah, something like that.
That's insane.
So I would be, by your metric, I would be like somewhere between the cinema and the theater.
Yeah. I'd say you're maybe what we call an IMAX over here in the UK. So an IMAX cinema. So that's, you know, the chairs are really, really comfy. Everything's really cushy, but it's also really expensive. And you bring your own snacks, okay?
You heard it here, folks. Dan's a pricey date.
Oh my god. No, I don't go to IMAXs.
I could be talking about myself.
Oh, good,
Which
yeah.
is even funnier. Oh my god, you lost the thread. Dan, you lost the thread. But it's even funnier because my whole design is basically like jeans and a hoodie and a jacket, which is just funny to describe myself as a pricey date with this handsome getup.
I mean, I'm literally in a tunic, like just a green ass tunic with a cape and some blue jeans. So,
but that could be high quality fabrics. That might be silk for all I know.
I mean, the cape is probably silk. Yeah. Anyway, howdy, Dalarian. Welcome in.
Hello.
Which Dan are you talking to? Because we're both Dan right now. So, yeah.
Well, we both said hello, so they're covered.
Both of us. Yeah. What were we talking about? My post. Right. So.
Yes, your post about being upset that larger streamers weren't doing more to help others grow. Yes.
So, let me clarify on this. So, not larger streamers, just so with my perspective and my opinion of, 1,000 being large, it's those who have, say, 1,000, 2,000 followers on, say, the Bluebird app, that got buried. If they do like a support chain, they get maybe 200 to 300 comments, and you follow them, and you turn back 2 months later and they've unfollowed you, and you're like, well, why did they do that? Why? Because did I do something wrong? No, not at all. At least I don't think I did. They're not spoken to me about anything, so I'll just unfollow them as well. And that's what really gets me, is that they don't say anything about wanting to just gain numbers. They do it under the pretense of support, air quotes. Like, if you're actually going to try and support people or have a support chain and say, make sure you follow someone's comment who you like, or no one should be under 5k. Fucking stick to it, okay? I'm actually gonna get angry now. I'm gonna get angry now because this is
those are bait posts. I saw a couple of those near the end of December, and like I looked through them, and like one was a person that had never streamed at all. Like I couldn't find any record on their Twitter, anything, and they're putting these out there like trying to get more followers, trying to get more people to like them, and I'm like, you're just fake. You're 100% fake. You like your account's 2 years old. You've never even debuted yet. You have like nothing. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
All you're doing is to meet people and hope that they follow you and build your numbers up.
Yeah.
Boo. Boo.
Boo.
Yeah. Those kinds of like posts. Definitely, I like it when people are honest and forthright with their actions online. If they put out a post like that, they 100% should follow it. But that is absolutely the thing that people use to just like bait interaction.
Absolutely.
Because I've 100% seen it, and it sucks when it happens, when you run into it and you're just like, you are not going to follow any of these people.
No.
With that being said, you were talking about like, oh, this person followed me and now they don't anymore. I'm guilty of that too sometimes. Like, without naming names, I know there was one person back in the fall that I raided into because they were playing the same game I was, or a game I just played recently, and I'm like, oh, hey, they're playing this, cool. And I raided into them, and I followed them on Twitch, and I followed them on socials, and then like, oh, it's an ad break for you.
Yeah.
And then, I started following them on socials, and I didn't like what I was seeing. Like they were not trauma focused, but it did not jive with me.
Two sides
They
of a
didn't fail-
coin, basically.
They didn't fail a vibe check. It just wasn't what I was looking for in socials. So I
Yeah.
unfollowed them, which is understandable. Like I am somebody who constantly prunes my social media presence. Like it is not something I treat as an address book or a Rolodex. Like I will clean it out if I don't like what people are saying or if they're not interactive. I've followed people and then unfollowed them later on because I'm just like, I say things and they never respond. They don't even like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like my social media socializing
Engage.
and looking at media.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying something nice and they never like my response, after a while I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm putting energy into this relationship. Why?
That you're not
You're not giving anything back.
Yeah.
So like I'll unfollow that. But in the case of this one person, I didn't really like what they were saying. They were kind of in a different direction. Essentially, it was my fault for not vetting them closer.
Did they follow you?
They did follow me, and then after I unfollowed them, I used some service for like multi-posting stuff across different web services that also like once a week gives me a notice saying like, oh hey, here's everybody that unfollowed you in the last week, and they did unfollow me afterwards, and I wasn't offended, I wasn't bothered. Like they basically saw me follow them for a week or two, and then I unfollowed them, and they unfollowed me, and I'm like, fine, that's okay.
So they may have had the same opinion towards you then, because you didn't say anything about
Possibly
unfollowing. Yeah.
There's always kind of that thing, like as a viewer, as somebody that came to streaming as like a longtime viewer and longtime person in like a bunch of different live stream services, the people performing don't always have time and energy to have a one-to-one relationship with a streamer, and the streamer definitely doesn't have time and energy to have a one-on-one relationship with each person in chat. Like not unless you have a fairly small community. Once you start getting to like that theater size or cinema size and you stadium size and it gets bigger and bigger, like
yes,
I wouldn't expect everyone in my community to like come to me and be like, hey, you did something in stream the other night that kind of bothered me. Like if I'm way out of line, do it, call me out on my bullshit. If it just made them uncomfortable, like I've been the person who's tried to have that conversation with a content creator and gotten emotionally stepped on by the result. It just felt like shit afterwards. So these days, if I don't like it, I'll usually just quietly leave. Like for many people, it's a small enough community or a big enough community. Most of them don't even notice. And then leaving, the person earlier, I didn't mute them. I didn't block them. They're fine. They're out there doing their best thing. I didn't want to watch them anymore. So sometimes that's all it is. And I don't tell anybody because like otherwise you have that conversation with somebody where like, hey, I watched some of your stuff. I didn't like it. I'm gonna leave now. Like that's an unpleasant conversation on both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't. You don't need to tell me that. Like my community wouldn't need to, and I don't even know if I would welcome it because who knows what kind of situation or emotional state I'll be in at the time. Like, and that's something that even if I'm in a good mood, that'll absolutely kind of punch me in the ego. Like, it doesn't feel good. So I kind of get where they're coming from, but 100%. Like if they're doing those posts, they're like trying to gain followers and trying to be like, yeah, let's all get a support network together, and then like later on they've done nothing with it other than like that one post. Yeah, it's that's just social media marketing manipulation. That's not genuine, which sucks.
Yeah, you're ranting more than me. I'm surprised.
I have opinions.
Yes.
I usually keep my mouth shut, which is funny because like I'm actually an extremely opinionated person. I'm fairly cut and dry about some stuff, but the thing is, I don't tell everyone. Like I'm not gonna just go out there and put it on blast, which is why I try and make a nice cozy space for people. Like
yeah,
it reminds me a little bit of and I'm gonna modify this ever so slightly. Something a boss of mine told me years ago, and she said, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, but not everybody's gonna appreciate you waving yours around in public.
Yeah, I've heard
and
that
it's
before.
Boy, oh boy, that imagery just stays with you, doesn't it? especially in today's modern social media landscape of content creation. Wink.
Wink.
But yeah, like it's. I'm not somebody who puts a lot of my opinions on blast on social. Probably one of the most outspoken things I am, or one of the things I'm most outspoken about, is like AI generated content.
Oh,
which
let's
I've
not.
raged,
No, oh my god.
I've raged about that. And even when I do, like I say, like as somebody who used to write, as somebody who once upon a time, actually, here's the thing you didn't know about me. I actually was a localization editor for a company doing like visual novel games. The writer didn't speak English. They used Google Translate to turn it into English, and they basically gave the script to me, and they're like, "Please make this make sense for an English audience." And I did for a couple of games they did. So as somebody that's done writing and editing, having a machine replace me sucks. Especially when it's like not good, but it's good enough to like trick people. Like, oh, it's a dystopian nightmare. And I've loved artists my whole life too. So like the artists are getting hurt, the writers are getting hurt. Now they're coming for the voice actors, and I'm just like, sit down, sit in your hands, don't say anything, don't rage, put the knife down. We're not killing anybody today. We really want to, but we're not killing a motherfucker today.
No, for today, for this damn stream, we are picking up that knife and we are going to shove it in all of their faces because AI, anything AI, is not welcome here.
Oh my god. And some of them are so... You talked about the importance of communication.
Yes.
Holy shit, some of these people are dense. There was a thing, actually this is a good AI topic. There was a thing last week where some of these AI people had created an entirely new comedy special based on the late great deceased comedian George Carlin. His daughter was talking about it saying, "I don't like this. I know my father would be against this. You shouldn't have done this." And a douchebag got in the replies and was mansplaining to her what her own father would have wanted. Like, wow. It was so bad. And I was in a Discord where people were talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, can you believe this?" And I looked up the guy's like profile on Twitter, and like his pinned tweet is like, "Listen, I may have said some things that piss you off. That's who I am." And I'm like, yeah, it gets even worse, guys. Look at this fucking tweet.
Oh no.
Like, the guy was entirely unrepentant. And it's just like, yeah, I just say shit. I don't care if it hurts you. Fuck off. And it's just like, yeah, no, this is 100% a guy to block and move on with my life.
See,
yeah.
They're the kind of people that I would love for a certain organization who will not be named to investigate and get the name and job of, and then message boss of said job and say, "Look at this." But then again, freedom of speech as well, in that you can have your opinion, he can say whatever he wants, but if it's malicious in intent and unrepentive when it's, been made clear that it hurts someone, that's when it becomes a problem for me.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes about freedom of speech is like, you can say anything. We're not protecting you from the consequences of what comes about from what you fucking said. But boy, oh boy, you can say anything. We encourage it. Say whatever crosses your stupid mind. And then we'll hold you accountable for it. Like, that's... Yeah, like, in general for that, like, I'm weird about censorship. Like, broadly I'm against... But I'm not a free speech absolutist because, like, the U.S. has, like, organizations like the Westboro Baptist Church, which, do you know anything about them? I wonder if they're, like, a uniquely U.S. thing.
Yeah, I know all about them because I watch certain YouTubers on my account.
Okay. For those who don't know these people, we're just gonna give you a quick TLDR.
Oh God.
They are a group that was a little bit more popular, more well known in like the 2000s and early 2010s.
I've put my angry face back on.
That would essentially go and picket funerals, like not public events, but like private funerals for like soldiers and things like that, with like horrendous signs with terrible messaging that were just hate-filled, trying to like pick a fight, like very obviously trying to pick a fight.
Yeah.
And and basically, like, I don't even know if it went up to the Supreme Court in the U.S., but it went up to some level of court in the U.S., and they're like, no, free speech rights, these guys are allowed to say that. And I'm in disagreement with that, because it's, again, like you said, it's clearly malicious.
Yeah.
It's not in good faith at all. Yeah, to a certain degree, I'm like, okay, they are allowed to exercise their free speech. They could have said whatever they wanted. Instead, they chose to say this, and congratulations, we're arresting you for being a public nuisance. Go into jail for the maximum amount of time for that. Go away, please.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, rightly so.
I don't know if I would say like 30 to 50 years in jail. Emotionally, yes. Legally, probably not. That's a bad precedent, and I acknowledge that. But like, yeah.
So one of the things, I just, sorry to interrupt. It's just with the topic of the Western, whatever it was called, Westboro Baptist Church. It's very much a topic that it sucks, because I don't want to get into this too much, because it's religion, and religion is something I don't want to rant about today.
A bit of a thing.
But they are, in a way, they are using religion as a protective factor, and I think that is wrong for any person to do, especially believers. So that's my take on it, but I think we should move on to another topic.
Yeah, I think we're both in agreement. They're not good people.
No.
But in terms of like an example of like free speech and like rights and things like that and censorship, they are a great casebook study of like, this is a thing that the courts say that I maybe don't disagree, maybe I don't agree with quite as much. Maybe I think some people are just rotten and need to go away for a little while.
Okay, let's bring it back. So let's talk about some of the news from this week. So I actually watched recently a video of some major people in the YouTube scene who are leaving. Namely, the one and only Matt Pat will be leaving his seat as, head of Game Theory and all the other theory shows, in order to be able to live the life that he couldn't, because he was building Game Theory and the others. So what's your opinion on that news? I don't know if you've stayed in touch with that news or not.
I saw it. I definitely saw it. I didn't really watch any of those shows, so I don't know him very well. But that's an interesting thing, because there was another thing in the VTubing scene, specifically, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, where a big person in Niji Sanji, Pomu Rainpuff, was also graduating. And also, didn't watch her things, but I saw such an outpouring of goodwill and love towards both of them. And just people very sad that they were leaving. And I absolutely saw that. People were breaking out, maybe some memes that were a little bit too serious for what they should have been doing. But because I saw some images that were perhaps a bit inappropriate. But but definitely, like, there was the sorrow and the gnashing of teeth and the grief of a thing that was a daily part of their life is now gone. And I can empathize with that. I my heart goes out to them. I kind of had that big moment for myself years ago. There was a long time ago, back when I was kind of like really into manga, and before like a lot of like copyright stuff got a little bit more caught up. There was this one like website online called One Manga that isn't around anymore, so don't bother looking it up. But they were basically like, think of it like Wikipedia, but for manga, and they hosted images there. So copyright wise, no. But essentially, like, they would host it there until they were asked to take it down, and then they would. Well, eventually, like, some of the big publisher companies for manga reached out to them and said, we're not okay with this. And when, like, basically those requests for takedown encompassed so much of their library that they basically didn't have much of a site anymore. They're just like, okay, we're going to shut down. It's all going away. For the next 2 weeks, we're turning on downloads. Go nuts, everybody. And people did, and then it closed down, and it went away. I think it came back eventually as something a little bit different, where, like, rather than hosting the content, it was, like, just tracking when, like, groups that was translating it, like, released updates. And, like, when chapters would be out, but they wouldn't host any of it, so they weren't in the same, like, legal situation. But, yeah, that was definitely a place that, like, hi, Wicked Danish. I'm not sure which Dan you're talking to, but hello. But that was definitely, like, that was a place I went to every day.
Hi, Danish.
For years. And having it go away, yeah, that hit me in the feels. That hit me in the feels when it happened. So I can understand with, like, Pomu or MatPat, like, so many people like care about those content creators that, yeah, I would expect a sorrow and a gnashing of teeth and a grief of them parting. And
yeah.
But I don't personally experience it. I don't know enough about either of them to really chime in that way, other than just, like, the empathy of having gone through something similar and just kind of hoping that the people that brought you joy are hopefully moving on to other things that both bring them joy and might bring them back to their community. Pomu, people were speculating left, right, and center what she might be doing next. I have no idea how much of any of that is right. We'll find out in a couple months for some of it.
Danish,
and then for...
You're the cute one, Danish. Not us. You're the cute one.
I might want to nibble later.
Someone's hungry.
But, yeah. But no, like... And I don't know what MatPat is going to be going on from this, but you said it basically, now that he's built up those channels and they're self-sufficient, he's going to go off and do his own life and do his own thing. And yeah, good for him. Like that, it reminds me of a martial arts movie I saw a long time ago, Hero, starring Jet Li. Have you ever seen it?
No.
I'm going to give away a bit of the ending, but I will tell you in a way that is as spoiler-free as possible.
Wait, Heroes, did you say? The TV show?
Hero singular. And it stars Jet Li specifically. Because I think they
Oh, it's
they
a
film.
film. Oh, no, I've never seen that. No.
So basically it starts off with this, like, government bureaucrat coming to visit the king because he slew 3 legendary assassins. And as he tells the story to the king of how he did it and what he did and how, you know, what went on, it gets more complicated and the king realizes something's going on. But one of the things that he had done was he had gone to 2 legendary assassins who almost succeeded in killing the king years ago. There I go. My mouth was kind of stuck. They almost succeeded in killing the king years ago.
Hydrate.
And hydrating. They almost succeeded in killing the king ages ago, but they didn't for whatever reason. And when he went to go meet them, he told the king, I asked him to make me a scroll with the word sword written on it. And there are 17 variations of the word sword. I asked for the 18th variation, his version, because it would reveal the secrets of his swordsmanship. And towards the end of the film, as things kind of go to a climax, the king is looking up at the scroll and he just kind of goes, aha! I now understand the secret of the scroll. It has no secrets of swordsmanship. Instead, it reveals his ideal of what a swordsman is. In the first stage, anything is a weapon, and you can slay your foe from 100 paces with a blade of grass. In the second stage, the sword resides in the heart, and even without a weapon, you could slay an army by yourself. But in the third stage, the sword disappears completely. Only peace remains. And, you know, a thing happens that I can't say because it's a huge spoiler for the film. But someone says the line, like, I beg you to remember that the final goal of any swordsman should be to lay down his sword. And I like that as an idea and a theory. Like, the people that make content for us, however much we love them, I want them to be happy doing. Because I've seen far too many people burn out and run themselves in the ground, both in the VTubing and streaming industry and just in content creation in general.
Yeah.
And I want them to be happy. I want more stuff. but I want them to be happy. And at the end of the day, if somebody's just like, I made all these things, I brought a bunch of joy into the world, it's now time for me to walk off into the sunset and have my early retirement I'm getting in my 30s, 40s, maybe. I don't know this guy very well. But like, I've done so well in my life, I could retire at 30 or 40 because of all the amazing stuff I did and how much that put me in a good position. And fuck it, good for him. Hell yes. He put down his sword. And I am happy for him.
Oh. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I think
It's a very good movie. You should watch it. It's super good. It's one of those like martial arts films with like the wire play. Like back when they did like that for like good like visual effects, and like it doesn't have like any CGI or like nothing crazy. Like it's good. It's a very good movie, and they do a bunch of stuff with like color, where like depending on who's telling the story at certain points, like characters in the same scenes are dressed differently depending on like whose opinion of events is coloring it. It's very cool. But yes, now that I've explained what I feel about these two content creators who have disappeared from the internet or are fading away soon, what are your opinions, Dan? We didn't get your voice on this at all.
On what topic? Sorry.
Matt Patton Pomo. Which this is the part of the show where Dan throws Dan under the bus.
So with
You're just like, I'm processing my feelings. I'm like, well, get into that bus and process some more, Dan.
I think with Pomu it very much comes. Oh, it's okay. With Pomu it very much comes to the corporate side of things. Like, to apply myself and get that role of being, a corporate VTuber would, I feel like it's an amazing accomplishment for anyone, but it's also a really hard lot of work. A lot of your it becomes your life, and you do not get much in the way of your own time, very, very much in the way that you don't with a full-time job. They take a week off at a time, and that's about it. Even over holidays they don't get time off. I know some of them do Christmas streams, which I think is wild. Not insane.
A little bit, yeah.
But wild. That on Christmas Day they were literally streaming with people.
Quietly raise his hand.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, but I have my own reasons. It was my choice.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas corporate-wise, they're told they have to do a certain number of hours a week in terms of streams. They can't go, under that at all, full stop. And I don't know the full details of contracts and everything, but I'm really hoping there's a maximum limit as well to how many streams they can do in a week. Because otherwise it becomes an unhealthy thing to be doing. What's this? Matt's gone off to produce other things. Pomu's gonna find a place where she'd be happier than she was. Yeah, I think there was a lot of corporate pressure behind Pomu's leaving, and I think that's in a lot of the case of like the Hollow Stars people leaving last year as well. Context: two Hollow Stars male VTubers went on an indefinite leave, and then I would say, sorry, I'm still ill, let me just it was about maybe 2 months into their indefinite leaves, it was announced that they would be graduating.
I think I know these ones. This was Vesper and somebody?
Yeah.
Am I remembering their names right? Okay.
Yeah. Magni and Vesper,
yes.
And that was very much corporate based because, and I think the same thing with Mysterious as well. with Mr. leaving, it was because of contract problems. It wasn't outright said, but it can be deduced from other livers, especially Vox, who had a very vocal opinion on it. That unfortunately it was just that they wouldn't be kinder to Mr. You know, I especially remember a quote from Vox was, "This didn't have to happen this way," and
Yeah.
there are people out there who are to blame.
Yeah, I've heard some things about a certain company and how they treat their livers, more so in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me, especially with things happening in their English speaking branches. That they don't sound like they treat them very well. That is a company that I've talked with like friends before of like, you know, if you got an offer, would you go? And like my one friend's like, hell yeah, I'd go 100%. And I'm like, I don't know if I would, because like I think it would make me unhappy, but also it would be like career wise, it would be an incredible like place to go, prove myself, do my time, so to speak, like almost like a prison thing. Like I did my nickel in, you know, Niji Shoujo or whatever we're gonna call like the conglomerate here for this. Like I did my time in that.
Niji Shoujo, yeah, I like that.
You know, I did my time in that, and that's how I, you know, became a good content creator outside of that. Like it feels like a make it or break it ground in some ways, almost like a forging for some people. So I get it, and like I said, it would be a good career move. I just feel like I would be so unhappy. And I've like earlier, I can't say this year anymore, but in 2023, I left a job that didn't treat me very well and didn't treat my coworkers very well, and I was unhappy there for like 2 years. And I don't know if I would ever go back to an environment like that. So like a place like those kinds of agencies, I would be reluctant to go there because I'd be like,
hey, Levi,
this is just gonna screw me
did
up
I see
again.
you go live earlier?
And I know what I get like when I'm that hurt.
I'm pretty sure I did, and I was going to.
Like, I would probably take a good hard look at like the contract. And if it was like 1 year, it's a maybe. If it's 2 years, probably a no. Longer than 2, it would be a hell no. Like, unless it's from a place that I know for a fact is going to treat me right. No,
I would have it.
That matters.
Contract.
That matters far more to me than anything else. Like how they treat their staff.
Oh, okay. How did your stream quality test go? So for me, if I was offered, say, a 2-month contract with the Niji company.
2 months?
2 years, sorry.
Okay. Like 2 months. I'm like, 2 months? I didn't realize they want that stuff.
No! My brain is starting to shut down. Oh, hang on. Let's actually quickly go through what Danish has said, because there's a lot here. So, Danish, you said that with VShoujo, they let you stream when you want, and that Iron Mouse just goes a bit crazy with it.
Yeah, she is a hardline, like, she is a believer in VTubing. Like, she's talked about her personal story. Like, she loves it.
But that's because of her personal
that's a very personal thing for her.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because VShoujo has some members that don't stream as much as the others, or some of them hardly stream at all. Mouse is just always on, and that's just who Mouse is. They mentioned here like Kuro talking about it, and you know, bad things, and a tax thing. Yeah, I heard some of those conversations, and yeah, like that's kind of the story I heard behind Kuro. Streaming is her favorite thing ever, and that's where she's happy. Yeah, I heard. What did she say? Like, streaming is what she does for fun, and the hard work for her begins when she gets off stream.
Streaming is her
and I think with her life that makes sense.
Ever, and it's where she's happy. Oh.
Yeah. I wish Mouse all the best. I'm super happy she won that award. this past year.
Yeah.
No, people online were like, "What's a fucking VTuber winning this?" I'm like, "You clearly don't know who Iron Mouse is." Like, holy shit! Like, the benchmark for her, like, her streams are like the example I use when I talk about like the Twitch, what is it? Like the split for monetization, like 50-50 versus like 70-30, because some people are like all up in arms about not getting 70-30 anymore, or not getting it as easily. And like, because Mouse did a couple of subathons, and one she got like 200,000 or like 100,000 like subs. I think it was 100,000. We'll say 100,000 just to make the math easy. And like, that's $500,000 from her community at a minimum. If they're only tier ones, it's $500,000 from her community. Like, at 50-50, she's got $250,000 from 1 month of streaming, and she donated it. She doesn't even need it. She donated it.
Yeah.
Like, which is nutty. Like, I'm super happy she's in a position where she doesn't need that money, and she can freely give it away. And I love the fact that she's in favor of causes like that. But like, if she was 70-30 instead of 50-50, 70-30 would be like 350,000 is what she would have instead. So she would have an extra $100,000 to donate, which is fantastic. But at the same time, Iron Mouse could give up $250,000. $100,000 is not that much to her. Like, so it's just like, if you're making $250,000, and again, like that's just from like an event, it was a charity and something like that. Like, so she's huge, but like for the 70-30 split, like, if you're at a point where it's making a huge difference for you, you're probably fine without it. Like, the top streamers getting 70-30, like, some don't need it. They actually would do really fucking fine with the 50-50. I would be happy with 50-50 for fuck's sake.
Just gonna read a few comments, 1 second.
Sure. I was ranting about a personal thing of mine.
That's right. You tried running Monster Water, ran terrible. Turns out you hadn't updated your driver since April. Really? Nearly a whole year? Jesus Christ. I must popped off big last year. She was everywhere. Yeah, and I think that's how she got into like the
Boy, I think you
Entertainer of the Year kind of category.
She's been in a few things, but like, she's done a lot of other stuff too. Because she's not only big in her streams, she's also posture check
and a hydrate. Thank you, Darren.
Yep. Hi, Armored.
I love that. I love her.
But yeah, Mouse is huge, and she's getting even bigger, which is crazy. Because she's like,
her.
you know, talking about streamers, like, on both of our spectrums, she's huge. And specifically, like, even in mine, like, her debuts have to have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. I remember one for like Natasha and Yanners that had 20k people as viewers for a model debut. Like, yeah, they are huge.
Same with Nina. When Mouse found out Nina was leaving Niji, she called Gun and was like, get her here, give her a place where she can belong. Both Maka and Kuro said that the best thing about VTuber is that they are way into mental health and the managers help the talent.
Yeah, I heard about that. Like, I forget if it was Maka or Kuro, but like, I think it was Maka.
About from a Maxwell video. Okay.
Like, I think Maka was actually saying, like, specifically, like, the people that helped her on board into V Shoujo were like, and here's our mental health policy. We encourage people to use it and talk to a mental health professional. Streaming's really stressful. This is super helpful.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And like, nobody had ever pushed that with her before. Nobody ever told her about it. Which it's so good with having like a company that like treats people that well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm like with all my friends. It's very much a case of you need to look after yourself first before you can help anyone else. And
Yes.
I'll always be like that. But touching on something real quick, something I want to talk about is, you know, if I made enough money or whatever, would I leave? You know, if I got offered a contract to go full time with a corporate, would I leave my real job? I would never leave my real job. My real job is something I have fought to get into. It is something I absolutely love and enjoy. Day to day is crazy, and then there are some days where it's really nice and calm, and I can breathe, ready for the next piece of work. I just, yeah. Not many people know what I do in my real life, and that's gonna stay a mirage. It's very much gonna be I work at the palace. You're not gonna learn that about me, because then I may get questions that are too personal, or questions that are relating to certain topics that I just shouldn't discuss outside of work. Like, yes, that's my full-time job, but what I do in the full-time job has to stay in that job. I can't be doing that job with you guys here. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, my personal
right.
headcanon, and you should not confirm this in any way, shape, or form, is knowing from your accent you're British. My personal headcanon is you're not lying about working in the palace. You are working in the palace in some capacity, and you're just being super cheeky and upfront to people about it, and I love that as an idea. Don't tell me if I'm right. Never tell me if I'm right. I don't want to know, because this theory is amazing and it lives in my head.
Sorry, hang on. My chat is claiming that I send feet pics, and okay, look, there was one slip-up picture. No, there was one slip-up picture where I posted a jigsaw puzzle, and my toes were in the bottom of the picture. Stupid Dan didn't check before posting it onto social media, and it went a bit viral. People were like, Dan's into feet, for a few months, and it was quiet until these two have come along, Ryan Levi, and now it's back.
Armored in my chat, it says the Mouse Queen demands a tribute of toe pics.
Who is the Mouse Queen?
I assume he means Iron Mouse.
Oh.
But actually, funny story you mentioned that. You thought you could differentiate yourself as a Dan apart from Dan's. I also have a story about people sassing me for wanting feet pics when I don't want feet pics.
Please tell me.
So I was part of an artist community that I joined back in like 2022. And I follow them and interact with them on like a different streaming service because they do like NSFW art. And they'd done one illustration and they were getting close to being done. And I'm like, hey, that's a really good illustration. I like what you did there. And on bonus, you got the feet. Like, you have feet in the pic. That's going to make all the feet people super happy. And they're like, oh, so you're watching the feet, huh? And I'm like, no, I'm just saying that. Oh, God, no. No. And they're like, yes, you're never living it down. And I swear to God, their freaking Discord, they gaslit their entire Discord so much about, like, just randomly putting feet pics up themselves that other people started sending me feet pics. I'm not even joking about that.
No, feet. No.
And what's funny is, like, the first time it happened, I messaged like one of the people that was the instigator. It was basically like one of the 3 artists that runs it and a mod. And I messaged the artist and I'm just like, I hope you know, people outside of you two chuckle fucks are starting to send me feet pics now too. I hope you're happy. And she replied, you have no idea how happy this makes me. And I'm like, oh God, I hate you so much.
If I'm not trying to provoke this, but if I ever got a feet pic, I would block the person. I'd be like, no, sorry, I can't. This is too much.
These were illustrations.
Illustrations of feet. No, that's even worse. That means people have like drawn them or described them in detail.
What's funny? What was really funny to me is
I will block you. If I see a foot in Lily, I will block you.
What's funny to me is after they started accusing me of that, and I just kind of ignored it and kept sharing like the same photos I always did, they started pointing out all of the illustrations I would share in their community, especially the ones that had feet in it. Like, oh, you shared this one with feet, and I'm like, no, I shared this one with cool lighting, and like they did really cool things with skin tones, and like, but also there's feet. I'm like, oh, fuck all of you. And that made me hyper aware of like what that was in people I follow.
Yeah.
I surprisingly follow a lot of artists on that account that do actually focus on feet. It just isn't the freaking reason I follow them. Oh. So, yeah, it's entertaining as hell to me. It is a gift that keeps on giving. They've been fairly quiet about it recently. I think they've gotten tired of playing with me and they moved on to other people to bully.
Like, for me,
it's not even a thing I like.
No, neither me. You wanna send me something that I'm gonna like? Send me pectorals, okay? Just send me the big man booba, and I will be happy. But not feet, all right? Not feet.
They have an entire like abs tag that like people can like, or not a tag, a roll, and like you can tag people if you share a picture with abs. They haven't done it recently, but like yeah, no, fair enough. Feet are not my thing, but it was extremely entertaining to me as I do that and like find stuff online. 'Cause what was it one time where like I was in like a Reddit and like, oh hey, this person does Reddit, cool art or something, and I look into there and like their entire subreddit, half of it's fucking feet pics, and I couldn't stop myself like sharing, like going to this Reddit and just staring at a screenshot on my monitor of like, so I found this person, I really like their art, I went to check their subreddit, half of it's feet pics. You crazy fuckers, you're getting into my life somehow. I swear to God, it's not me.
You think that's lewd? Get ready for this post. I can't type. I'm dumb.
Oh God, are you sending it to me in Discord?
No, I'm talking to Danish.
Oh, Danish.
There. You think booba is lewd? I have a pec flex emote. This is always gonna be something that I will be open about, okay?
Honestly, when you shared this on social media, I thought it was like a model react or like a transition or something. I didn't realize it was an emote.
No, yeah, it's an actual emote. Yeah. Subscribers get access to it. Yep. I wish I could make it for everyone, but there are no animated free follower animated emote slots. So
yeah, unfortunately,
Twitch has fucked us over that way.
What do you use for your free emote slots? Out of curiosity.
Oh, so.
No, we are not Danish. Put it down. Put the keyboard down, Danish.
Let me go in to my system because it's
just curious if you knew off the top of your head, because like I have emotes prepped. Like I got emotes like a year ago, a little more than actually for my channel, and you've seen them in my Discord. Which I have a Discord.
So you get 5 free standard emote slots after 60 days.
Oh, okay.
After 60 days of stream. So I have my laugh emote, my cheeky wink, my wave, my hydrate, and my everything on fire emotes as my
That's a good one.
free for all. There are more emotes coming. We had a discussion about this in the channel actually, when we discussed about what we want to see at the First Court Weekly. Next one will be Monday, by the way. Yeah, I've got an update on some of those. And if you didn't see, there is a couple of Valentine's emotes coming as well.
Oh, nice.
Which will stay up permanently. I think we'll keep them up permanently because it's always nice to send lovely emotes to people. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if and when I get my my free emote.
Is that a fucking pants emote? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it is.
I need to. They're grabbing their crotch. How did
I told
that get past
I told Danish
Twitch?
not to. I told them to put it down.
Danish, what the actual fuck-a-doo-doo-doo? No. Why? What is that? Sagena shorts? What's that? It's just someone's boxers. Oh my god.
Oh goodness. But no, I think with my with my emote slots, I definitely would do a wave because I like having wave emotes and having one from my own account that I could use with other people and use when I'm joining other streams. I would love that. Maybe the Pog one. I like the little like sparkle in my eye for that one. The tears one I love, but it really only shines when it's big.
Danish, I will
So-
time you out. Behave yourself. Swear. What are...
But,
Oh, these are just lovely heart ones. Thank you, Dolarian. I saw them all and immediately was like, there's so much loot! But no, it's just heart emotes. I like the heart emotes.
Fair enough, Danish. Fair enough. But no, yeah. So there's some I would get. Honestly, I probably would need to get some new emotes because I don't even think. I think the person who made my emotes isn't even taking commissions anymore. Like they stopped and are on hiatus, which is unfortunate because I really like them.
I would message them though because I've got that as well. So I don't know how much detail I want to go into. The person who is going to be making my live 2D is currently on hiatus. But I've reached out to them and we have a plan for when they return to work. I will be number one.
Nice.
So that reminds me, I should probably message them Happy New Year.
2 weeks in.
Yeah, that's just what I'm like though, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But no. Well.
But no. So
Sorry,
here's
go
a
ahead.
streaming concept that I've seen come up occasionally.
Mhm.
Commissioning people. And I've seen some horror stories about people commissioning, and they wait like 3 months, no reply, 6 months, no reply, a year, it's still like a year overdue, still don't have it yet, 2 years in some cases. Like, obviously not okay to be like that late. Like, if life gets in the way, life gets in the way.
Yeah.
But like,
I think if it
interesting.
became 2 years too late, or 2 years late, I'd just ask for a refund at that point.
You are kinder than me, because I would basically, because a lot of the people want like payment through PayPal, and
Yeah.
PayPal you can charge back up to 6 months. So
What does
if
that
I'm doing
mean?
a commission,
Sorry.
so basically like a chargeback on PayPal is you basically go to PayPal and say I didn't get what I paid for, or what I paid for wasn't, or what I got wasn't what I paid for.
Yeah.
Like maybe you paid for like a full illustration, they sent you a black and white or something.
Yeah.
Like you can go to PayPal and say they scammed me out of money. This is fraud. Give me my money back, and PayPal will deduct it from their account. That is actually one of the few ways PayPal can actually go into the negative, because they can take more from your account that you don't have.
But what if
And
the money's not in that account? Oh,
then the
it goes
account is in the negative.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, like that's kind of the story. Like, because also it's something that people misuse because PayPal notoriously doesn't really demand much from people
Danish.
in terms of that stuff. Where like they will, sometimes people will get a thing and then just go back and tell PayPal, "Oh, I totally didn't get it," even though they did, and then issue a chargeback. So people are, it's a big thing in the art community that people get all kind of wound up about. But literally, you can only do it for 6 months after the initial payment was made, and only if it was done as like a business payment. If somebody tries to get you to pay as friends and family, don't do that. It'll prevent the chargeback. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
But I would basically say like, okay, what are your terms? Because you see that sometimes. Because there's a thing, sometime in the last month, where somebody was like going on about terms of service, and they thought that their personal terms of service outweighed PayPal's for some reason. And like they're basically like, I don't issue chargebacks or refunds ever. That's my terms of service. And it's just like, but you're doing it through PayPal. So if you don't give me what you promised by the time you promised it, or any kind of updated information, I'm issuing the chargeback. I'm getting my money back. Because there's no reason I should give you money for you not, give you money for goods or services and then have you not provide that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I would not wait a year for me. Like I had a commission I did. It's actually one of my earlier models that I used. I don't use it anymore, and I don't even advertise it anymore. But I commissioned somebody, and the basically it was an emergency commission. They were raising money to basically get out of a bad situation. I talked to them. I got we discussed the commission, and they said I'll get it to you in 1 to 2 months. And a month in, I messaged them. I said, hey, what's the status? And they told me, oh, I haven't started it yet. I'm like, okay, we got a month left. I'm a little disappointed. I was looking forward to this, but and then like a week or two later, or week and change later, I think they sent me the sketch, and I was really happy with the sketch. I replied back, yes, sketch good, and nothing for weeks. Finally, it got up to the point where like it was the 2-month mark, and I'm just looking at it like, do I issue the chargeback? They're late. They haven't communicated. And eventually I decided against it, and like a week or two later I got what they had prepared, and I didn't like the way it looked. I thought it looked actively bad. Like compared to the rest of the stuff they'd done, like and like their example illustrations, this did not look good. It was not to the quality of what else they had done. So I felt like a little underappreciated, undervalued. Yeah. And I wasn't going to be the dick to do the chargeback because I've been around artists long enough to know like they all have their horror stories for commissions, and I don't want to be somebody's horror story. Yeah. But 100% never going to commission that person again, ever. Like not even if the circumstances change. But that was a situation where I was at the edge and I was wondering, do I charge them back or not?
I'm gonna
only charge back.
Sorry, Diaz, I do have to wrap things up within the next 5 minutes, just to let you know. So do continue, but yeah, make it short and sweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing I've ever done for a chargeback was there was a poet that had like an online shop that I ordered something from them on over a weekend or over a holiday or something, and I'm like, oh, I'll probably get it like Monday or Tuesday, and like a couple weeks went by, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get this yet. And I tried reaching out to them. I tried messaging them. Never heard back. And finally, like after like a bit of time, like sending them an email, waiting for a response, and they never said anything. I finally did issue a chargeback for like a $2 or $2.50 like thing I bought from their shop. And I did eventually get it, but it was like 6 months later. I finally got the thing that I'd paid for, but I'd already got the money back by that point. I'm like, that was weird. And I haven't bought anything from them since then. I think their shop might have just gone on the fritz.
Yeah.
But like, they did nothing to take care of anything.
The communication is key between the artist and the person commissioning. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I've had a lovely chat with you, honestly, Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you had a lovely chat with me as well. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to have a talk show as a series, but maybe that's for later on this year, something for me to think about. Things are kind of busy for me at the moment, but
fair enough. Yeah,
I will happily put the pin in the idea that once a month in the future, we maybe from April onwards, let's say, we jump together once a month and talk about all the freaking news, gaming news and drama that's happened over the past month. There's going to be a lot of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially in April, later on in the year, because that's when we'll find out if we're right about some of those theories on Pomu, possibly.
Pomu's not one I am following. I just know that they are going to keep Pomu's channel up, and all the VODs are staying up as well.
Good.
Danish! You are the cute one here. Enough. Anyway. Do you have anyone in mind you would like us to read out to, Diaz?
I'm looking online because I was debating like whether or not I would recommend anybody. There isn't really anybody major that I'm following now. There's.
Well, should I read into you and then you can decide?
Well, there's one person. It's a friend of Sorath Myoijin from the speed dating collab we did. Remember?
Yeah.
Their friend Kirk Clayton is currently doing Lethal Company. Let me see how long they've been doing stuff here. They've been going for about 30 minutes. They'd appreciate a raid.
Okay, send their name in the Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
Why have I been...
They're doing Lethal Company.
I've been called a fool.
Yeah, Kirk's good people. He does like pixel avatars for people in like a Pokemon style. He did one for me. Good guy.
Let's have a look. I always check I go to their stream first. I do with everyone to make sure they're not like having to finish up early or something. So give me,
No, he's been going for 35 minutes. I think he's good. I think he just started.
let's have a quick little look.
Oh right, yeah, because his title says like Lethal Company, but I'm in the game. Yeah, he modded like he made like a 3D avatar of himself and modded it into the game, so you can actually see him in the game.
They're a VTuber. Why didn't you just say that?
Yeah, they're a
Retired isekai protagonist.
Yep.
This man is amazing.
Yeah, he's good to follow on Twitter too if you don't yet. Like, Kirk is solid.
I'm gonna quickly drop Kirk a follow, and then Braden. Surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Those blue eyes looking around are so cool. Your blue eyes, DS. That's for you.
Yes, my new reactive model by I think this was Ringu. I think Ringu made this.
Ringu.
Yeah, I got a new reactive model and a new live 2D model that I debuted recently.
Yes. So everyone,
Good
please check in with DS at time as much as you can over the next week or so that the average viewership goes up, just so we can get you up. And you let me know, DS, if this helps push you up at all.
Sure.
I'd like
Probably
to know
will.
if this was a success or not. Because if it does, then it may tie into future plans I do, but we will see.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me.
Likewise, I had fun.
Thank you for having me on your stream with all your viewers.
Also, likewise.
And I wish you all a very lovely rest of your days or nights, and we'll both see you again in the future. I'm sure we'll have another collab together soon.
Yes.
Might not be this month, but maybe next. Who knows? X-Files
We'll figure
music
something
plays. Right, let me get ready to raid out. Everyone, here is your raid message.
All right. We should do a raid message. I don't ever do those. I so rarely do those.
I do raid messages all the time. Yeah. Kirk. Braden.
Oh God, what do I say? I don't know. Chad, if you have any great ideas, let me know. I'm drawing a blank now. I'm a writer, not an improver.
Well, you could do it based on being a writer. I'm here to write your future.
I was leaning into something like "We'll keep you company" or something like that because he's playing Lethal Company. Either that or like "Have fun with Space Amazon." Oh, cat. Forgot you could like find cats in that.
Yeah, more packs have cats now. In fact, that's what I'm about to go and play off stream is some Lethal.
Nice.
So, okay, I'm gonna start my raid. You quickly decide on your message. Everyone, thank you so much for watching us both, and yeah, I really hope this gets you affiliate because you deserve it, man.
Thank you.
You've been pushing for way too long, and I feel
Much appreciated.
I feel excitement when I see your emotes and then sadness when I can't use them. So let's get you to affiliate so I can start throwing your face everywhere.
You just want to use the tears cup. That one's amazing. I love that. It's so sassy.
No. Right, we're leaving. If you want to go Writer's Block Raid. Writer's Block Raid? That was Danish's suggestion. Don't know, maybe. Maybe.
We'll see.
Alright, everyone. We'll see you all next time. I'll be back on Monday with Court Weekly. See you then. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.